Alright everybody, what's going on? It is Demo with Demo Vapes. Welcome to the live stream. Today we're going to be talking about the Alien frame staple. And, it's just a really awesome build. And, we're going to try to learn it today. So, how's everybody going? How's everybody going? How's everybody doing today? On this beautiful Saturday afternoon. What's up, Kevin K? Aloha, Demo Fweef. I see you are a Vaping with Ken man. Or, yeah, anyway. Jared the Vaping Goat, Billy the Kid, Frank freaking Wolf. Sweet, Jason B, what's up? Alright, well, let's see, how many people do we got? 12 people? Alright, well, we'll go ahead and start prep and then, do that. Yes, so I have a slightly new camera angle today, so we're going to try that. And I'm coming right from here, looking down. So hopefully this won't cause me any problems. It's out of the way enough where I still have full range of motion for my hands, so that way I won't have to worry about anything like that. So we're gonna start with prep, and what I like to do is I actually like to start with the D-core first, because that will tell me how long my actual core wire will be, right? Much like we did in the Alien tutorial. Again, if you have not watched my Alien tutorial, go check that out. Before you attempt this build, you should have at least the knowledge of a Alien coil and a frame staple, right? If you can nail an Alien coil and nail a frame staple coil, you are ready to move on to the Fralien. Now, even if you can't nail an Alien, you might still try the Fralien, because the Fralien is much I personally believe that it's much easier to make than the Alien. So that's just, I guess, kind of my opinion. I think it's just because the core is much more rigid and stuff like that. So, what's up? Dismafugger here. What's up? Eric Newton, Brad Levitt. Sweet. Awesome. Cool. Well, welcome to the stream. Sorry if I sound a little sniffly tonight, guys, or today, guys. I have the worst case of allergies that I've had in a long time, so sorry if I sound a little stuffy, but that's what's going on here. So, cool. All right, well, we're going to start with the D-core first, and then we're going to prep everything else, and probably going to do... Let's see here. Yeah, well, I'm going to scoot this microphone back real quick, because I'd like to do a D-core that's a little bit longer, probably about this length, which is, I don't measure things very exactly. Honestly, it's all about, like, ratios, right? So you want your D-core to be 1.5 times the length of your core wires, is about where you want to be. So before we start, though, I'm going to show you guys what I'm vaping on. This is a box from our good friend Mark Clough. And this is, I call it the Mark Box 9000, but this is the Warlock's hammer, and it is a dual 21700 parallel box mod. And geez, man, that's just a beast. It hits like crazy. Up top, I've got a .07 build, which is not something I necessarily recommend to anybody, but .07 with 230Ts, definitely no problem. Weather system. That's what that is. So, all right, guys, let's get rolling. So we're gonna do I'll show you the components that I'm using here first. For the core wire, we're gonna start with Nichrome 80. This is 0.1 by 0.3 ribbon, and I'm using Coil Society today for this. Use whatever you like. For the frames, we're using some 28 gauge Nichrome 80. This is from Twisted Messes. I also have Kidney Puncher and stuff like that, as well as some 38 gauge Nichrome 80 from Coil Society as well. This is what we're going to be actually doing the Alien wrap with. So today we're going to be learning the no stretch technique, and the no stretch technique is, I think, definitely harder than the stretch technique, but I think it's a little bit more, well, it's especially nice for people to have, especially nice for people who have carpet, which I do. So we're gonna do that, and I'm gonna teach you how to do the no stretch. So let's see here. Does he have his own machine shop? No, he does not. He gets the boxes pre-made, and then you know, cuts the openings and stuff like that in them. And, you know, it's similar to the way Titan does, you know, Eric does his work with Titan, you know, kind of just assembles them. But those are $90, and, you know, he's about to be starting his own website for, to sell, you know, juice as well as these mods. So these mods for $90, man, that's a steal compared to, you know, what other boxes like this cost. So it's definitely a big box. I mean, you can fit, this is a 25 millimeter atomizer. You can fit probably a 30 flush on this. But yeah, no, I like it a lot. And in that atomizer, I am vaping on some Tango Melon from Transistor. This stuff is so, so good. All right, cool. Let's get rolling here. So we're going to do the decor around a piece of 26 gauge wire. And, you know, the thing with Fraliens is when you're doing an alien, right, you use 3 core wires of the same gauge in general, and you wrap your decor around that same diameter wire, right? So what you end up with is the wire you wrap around, you times that by 3, and that is the diameter, or rather the width of the coil, right? So that's what you need to do here. So I've already done the calculations for what I'm using. A 26 gauge decor will wrap perfectly over the cores that I've got. And so, you know, we can go into that a little bit more, you know, the calculation fact. But basically, it's pretty simple. So you would take, for 28 gauge and 0.3 ribbon, you would take 0.321, which is the diameter of the outer core wire, or the frame, and you times that by 2, and then add 0.6 for the ribbon, and that's your width, right? When you divide that width by 3, that is the diameter of the core wire that you want to wrap around. So for this is 26 gauge. So let me just find that, because I didn't think to prep that earlier. Oh, there it is, 26 gauge right here. So we've got big spool, 26 gauge, kitty puncher. We're going to use this for the decor. All right. While I'm doing this, what are you guys vaping on today? I'd like to know. Throw that down into the chat. So I'm going to just pull length off. That looks about right or so. So I think this might be even a little bit long. That's okay. Rather it be a little bit long than a little bit short. Let's see, where are my cutters? Cutters are here. I don't know what happened to these cutters, man. I was using these Nipex cutters, which I recommend to everybody. These guys, they're kind of expensive, and these ones have sort of not really performing very well. The ones in my other kit are doing just fine, but these ones are not cutting very well anymore. I think because I nicked it on the 502. Or rather, I nicked the 502 with these cutters. So, cool. All right, 26 gauge there. We're going to go ahead and straighten this out, and then we're going to get going on the decor. Meepod, Bonaspati, and Goon. Bassium and Anata. Cool. Those are 2 things that I have not tried. Bonaspati drop. What's up, Joe McIntyre? Boy! Alright, so let's get this in there. Oh no, see, I'm gonna have trouble doing this because my camera's over to my left now. Alright. Sorry this is kind of out of frame, guys, but it's tough to capture all of this, so... straightening wire is pretty straightforward anyway. So, all right, drill, 3, 2, 1, go. Let's give it another little blast, just to get it a little bit straighter. All right, cool. So, we have a piece of 26 gauge that is nicely straightened. And I am going to go ahead and set my drill back down here. I'm going to clip off this little end over here. See if I can show you guys what I'm doing a little bit better. Oh, this is so much better. I can just show you guys so much easier. So I'm going to go ahead and clip that end off, and we're going to put another little end in. You probably do 2 in 1, but I find that wire gets a little weird if you straighten it and then just go straight into the D-core. So we're going to go ahead and put another little 90-degree bend in it, which is fine because it needs to be shorter anyway. Alright, try to center this as much as possible if you can. Alrighty, get that nice and centered in there. James Franklin, what's up? Alright. Yes, sir, new camera setup indeed. This is a much better angle, I think, than the one I was using before. So it's not going to be perfect, you know, it's at the end of the day, it's still live video, so, but I think it's a big improvement from the previous angle. Alright, we're going to go ahead and wrap this around. Alright, perfect. So we've got that like that. And I'm going to just cut this little tail off so it doesn't get in our way. Do clean work, guys. Don't skimp on your prep. It is up to you, essentially, how well you do this. Alright, cool. So we're good to go when it comes to that. Let's get this drill going in reverse. For this alien, we're going to be going this direction. So we're going to be Claptoning towards us, and then we're going to be applying the alien away from us, right? So, let me just, my nose a little wipe here. Sorry, guys. Ooh, allergies, man. I fell asleep on the couch last night, and that really did me in. All right, cool. So, let's get that Nichrome 80. Let's get that 38 gauge out. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to poke this under. So instead of going over, we're going to poke it under, right? And then come back around. Let's see if I can get you guys a better view of what's going on over here. Well, you know what? Let me attach this first, and then I'll get you a better view. Because I can't do this with one hand. Okay, cool. So, let me just take a second here and just kind of reposition my camera so you guys can see a little bit better. Alrighty. How about that? Perfect. That looks great. So essentially we're going under, right? So we'll just kind of start this way. And you can see that we're wrapping back towards, oh, and of course I'm going out of focus. We'll fix that, won't we? By just switching to manual. Looks perfect right there. All right. So, anyway. So we're going to be wrapping back towards ourselves, and this is not the most centered, but that's okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and start this. I'll probably change the camera angle once I'm done with this decor, because once I'm started, I don't want to stop. So, Vaping with Jesus, what's up? What's up, Mark? All right, guys. Now, a little bit of wobble is okay. All right, let me zoom back out for you guys. Let's see here. Oh, now you can see all my my entire setup there. So let me clip this wire, and then I'll reposition the camera. Okay, so that's cut. Sorry guys about it being in the mic. I know it's, you know, it is what it is. If I mute it, then it's just silence and it's kind of boring. So let me just get this right here. Finish that off. All right. All right. Now we're gonna change the angle back to the one we had before. Perfect. All right. That looks pretty good. Bring it back to autofocus. All right, cool. All right, so once you have this done, what you're going to have is at the end of this wire, there's this little tail, and you can kind of see it there behind my, like in front of my finger. What I like to do is I like to put my drill back in the reverse direction that I just did this. Always have to have red pepper flakes nearby when coiling, man. When you eat as much pizza as I do, I have these everywhere. Anyway, so I'll put this in forward direction so that we're spinning this way, and I'm just gonna grab this little tail and spin it up a little bit. What I'm doing is I'm loosening this wire because I want it to come away from this core very cleanly. You don't need much, just a few seconds should do it. Now you can see it kind of slides nicely on this core wire. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this out. Now, what I like to do is I like to leave the other side on the swivel, right? I like to leave it on the swivel. It makes it a lot easier when it comes to getting this D-core apart. So I'm going to go ahead and clip that. And then using a pair of scissors, not using a pair, and, you know, a pair of metal shears, right? Big, huge titanium, supposedly titanium anyway. These were like $4. I can't imagine that these are actually titanium for $4, but we'll, you know, whatever. So I'm gonna go ahead and clip that off the end. And now we should have a very nice, clean, you know, easy round end to pull this off of. And there's a little bit of catching, but it's not too bad. Sometimes that happens. Just be very gentle with this. You don't want to stretch out your core prematurely, or rather your D-core prematurely. So now I have a D-core. Now I'm going to go ahead and save this wire, right? So if you do a lot of aliens and a lot of Fraliens and stuff, save your D-core wire. You know, like if you're doing a lot of Fraliens and stuff, don't throw this away. There's no need for that. You've already got this piece straightened. Just save it. Put it somewhere so that way you can do another D-core off of it later. I save all mine back here, which is not really the most organized, but whatever. So, let's see here. Her Williams, what's up? Welcome, welcome, welcome. So how many people do we have watching? 30 people right now? Okay, that's cool. All right, so now we're going to do the frame staple core, and now I have a good idea of how long that can be because I have a D-core here. So we're going to go ahead and use, let's not grab 316L stainless. As much as that would be fun, I don't really want to be that low today. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring this ribbon wire out till I feel like it's about, I don't know. There. Let's try like right there. That might be a little bit too long, but that's okay. If we run a D-core, we'll still have plenty of core wire for 2 coils. All right. I use the scissors to cut the ribbon because I think it's a little bit better for the ribbon. It seems to cut cleaner and doesn't bind up. When you use a wire cutter, sometimes it can kink up the end and sort of mess up things. All right. I cut 6 pieces here. Again, I know what I do is with the frame staples a little bit different than what a lot of people do, but it works for me. So, if it works for me, then that's how it's going to be. All right. That has a little bit of a kink in it, but I think that that will work itself out. Oh, a little bit too long there. All right. So I used to do this a lot on Instagram, guys. I used to do live builds on Instagram all the time. And, you know, I didn't really go into as much detail as I'm going into now because it was more of like a, hey, I have to build. You guys want to hang out while I build? But, oh, I see what's going on. That's why it's not closing. All right, so that's all 6 pieces of the ribbon. Now let's get those kind of bunched, you know, together. All right. That way we'll have a good idea of how long our frames can be. All right. Cool. So let's get our frames going. Using 28 gauge nichrome for this. Whoa, 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 whoa. Come back. So I just measure this in relation to the wire that I have going here. So I just measure it a little bit longer, maybe a couple inches longer. Because that's what we're going to attach into the swivels. I'd love to be able to use the flats receiving clamp for this wire, you know, because this builder clamp that I've been using, by the way, there is a link currently in the description. If you don't see it, refresh the page. There's a link for this in the description. You can get this builder clamp. It's on Etsy, and you know, go check it out if you want. It's $25. It's something really legit. I think it's really cool. But it also comes with this little other piece for the end for your swivel side. And, you know, it's such a pain in the ass because when it's dangling by your swivels, you need like a third hand to hold everything together. And I just don't use it. I find that just attaching it straight to a loop is good enough. I mean, I would be willing to struggle through that using that other thing if I was making really complicated coils, but, you know, I'm not. So these are complex, but not crazy. All right, so I'm going to straighten this wire real quick. Awesome, thanks, Frank. Appreciate that. Yep, I added that link like right before I went live. All right, so we've got one wire straightened. Two wires straightened. Let's do that real quick. Boop, boop, boop. Alrighty. Alright, so we've got 2 straight pieces of 28 gauge. Just got to cut those little tails off so that way they don't catch up on anything. So I'm just going to cut those real quick. Try to give you guys a little bit better view of what I'm doing. Oops. I lost one of the legs, which means that's going to end up in my foot someday. Exciting. Can't wait for that. Alright. So, I've got those two frames. And now the ribbon. So now we're going to go ahead and assemble this whole thing. So, just a reminder, I'm going to take a quick vape while we're doing this. I'm going to take a look at chat and see if you guys have any questions or anything. The Ramo clamp is awesome. I only use the small swivel clamp when I'm doing 3 or more core aliens. Can't use it with Frapel cores. Yeah, that makes sense. I just have a tough time, like, getting the wire into it and then getting it clamped down with it straight. Like, it doesn't seem to ever want to be straight. So, I don't know. It's just a pain. Anyway, whatever. Ooh! Need a drip here. Sorry about the chair, guys. Swear I'm going to get to WD-40 at some point. Oh, yeah. That is performing. Just in case you guys want to see what this looks like in terms of this huge build. That is a set of .07 frame staples right there. All right. Let's move right along. Why not? Man, those 2 hits got me going. All the nicotine I need for a minute. So, all right. So we're going to go ahead and stack this. Now, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see exactly what I'm doing here, but let's try to zoom in to what I'm doing. Hold on. Let's see. Okay, it zooms in right there. All right. So when stacking this kind of wire, I'm going to go to manual focus so you guys can see this better. Oh, not the right adjustment collar. Ah, yes. We are in focus. So, what I'm doing here is I'm trying to straighten, let's see here. I'm just trying to make sure I get into the right spot there. Trying to get these all to stack, right? And so these are a little bit unruly, right? But if you go further up, right? A lot of people fail when they try to stack it way down at the end here, right? It's not easy to stack down at the end. It's much easier to stack a couple inches up. And you just kind of roll it around until it kind of just wants to sit itself properly, and boom, already, there we go. We've got a perfect stack. And I'll show you what that looks like here on camera in a second. Let's see here. Can I go this close? Oh, again, the wrong one. Yeah. So now we have a stack of ribbon, and it's not the easiest to show on camera without like a full-on macro lens, but it is fully stacked. It is nice and straight. Everything is all in line. So anyway, so Herb, you said I use water, saliva, 2DMO. Yeah, I'm going to use saliva tonight because this is a coil for me. But, you know, when I'm making coils for other people, I try to use water. At the end of the day, everything that I make is cleaned, like, very thoroughly. So, but, no, I use water for coils that I send out. Don't worry. So, anyway, let's back this out a little bit. Can I get back to what we're doing? And what I use is I just use a little bit of saliva and just run it down, and that will cause everything to stay together, just like that. So now we have a much, much easier piece of wire to work with, and it all kind of acts as a group. Now what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and kind of grab a frame, stack it on top, make sure it's nice and centered there, make sure that it's flush with the end. Okay. I really need a ring light for my camera because I think a ring light would be really good for this, just giving good, even front light. I don't like the ring in the eye thing, you know, like people do it like a lot in their, you know, in their faces and stuff, and you can see it in their eyes, and I'm not really a huge fan of it, but for this kind of stuff, it'd be good. So here we have, essentially, with nothing holding it together, we have the core of a frame staple. So you can see down at the end that I've got my frames, which are a little bit longer. So yeah, cool. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and straighten this out and try to get it as nice and tight as possible. We're going to flip it over a little bit. Oops. Kind of bumped up my end there. So anyway, we're going to flip it over. And now we have, let's see if I can get this so you can see it. Ooh, careful, Demo. Yeah, I can't really show you very well because it's all in shadow. Ah, there we go. Hey, check that out. So that's what it should look like. So now we're going to go ahead and glue this end. As with everything that I do, you know, these complicated builds, I believe that gluing the ends is the key to keeping everything nice and happy together. Oops, let's not drop that. All right. Oh, my lighter would almost be out of fluid when I'm doing a live. Okay, so I'm going to take that hot glue. I'm going to apply it to the end. Literally, I try to place it at the last possible point where everything comes together. And then I'm just going to wrap it around. Cool. We now have a nicely glued end, which will be very easy to install into our swivels. So we're going to go ahead and install this into the swivel. All right, so now it's in the swivel. Now we can pull it tight, right? So this is the benefit of this, right? So now that we have it in the swivel, I can do whatever I want with it because I have an anchor point for it. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull this out, and I'm going to glue the end as well because this, even though this is going in the builder clamp, I want it to be together already because it just helps out. So I'm going to go ahead and use my lighter again. Oh no! Oh shit! A flaming drop of glue just fell on my carpet. That's good. Shit. This is one of the things about glue that's a little bit of a bummer sometimes. Ooh, I'm getting my fingers. That's hot. All right, because of that little mishap, I'm going to just double check things here. I'm kind of attached to this now. Hold on, guys. Give me a second. I just want to make sure my carpet's not on fire. Sorry, guys. Just give me a moment here. Oh. God damn it. Okay. Well, you know, these things do happen, and it is live. So, whatever. I don't like a glue gun, actually. The reason I don't like a glue gun is because I think it's a lot to deal with. You know, you've got the thing, and you got to turn it on, and you got to remember, and then I've tried it, right? I used to use a glue gun, and then when you put the glue out, normally it's too liquidy, right? I just over torched it, is all. So just, you know, be careful. My house is not on fire. All is well. So this doesn't have to be perfect, really. The glue, that's fine. I mean, basically, what we just want to keep everything together until it gets into the clamp. So open that up. There is no security deposit, sir. This is my house. All right, cool. So let's bring this forward. Grab my screwdriver. Also going to bring my mic a little closer. All right, cool. Open this guy up. Get her in. All right, get her nice and tight. I'm going to cut off this little tail over here that's hanging on right here. I don't want that hanging around. Oh, perfect. Wow. Bang in the center, straight off the bat. That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. So yeah, that's key. When you're doing these frame staples and Fraliens and stuff, you want everything to be as centered as possible. You want everything to be nice and tight. You see how I can spin it without anything coming out of line? That is the ideal, and I nailed it. So I'm happy with myself on that. So now I just have to not mess up everything else. So now is when the hard part happens. So as I said earlier, we're going to be learning the no stretch method. And the no stretch method is a challenge. So, you know, just get ready. You're going to have some failures when you first switch over to this method if you try it. You can do this with the normal stretch alien method, right? You don't have to do this no stretch, right? I prefer no stretch because I have carpet, and it's a huge pain in the ass because my wire gets caught on the carpet, and it's just, I hate it. So, yeah. So the clamp thing, Weo 609, the clamp there is a link in the description of this video that has goes straight to that clamp. It's $25, and it's just awesome. I mean, ever since I've started using it, it has a little learning curve, right? You got to get used to using it at first. I would recommend marking the center point with a Sharpie. You know, get it spinning in the drill and mark it with a Sharpie. I haven't done that yet, but that's what I would recommend. Makes it easier to index it later on. Okay, let's get rolling here. So with no stretch, there are certain amounts of this you just have to do. I can explain it, but you know you're going to have to do it yourself. So with the no stretch method, essentially what we're doing is we're going to be doing the stretch with our fingers, right? So I'm going to try. Now the only thing that I haven't quite figured out is the best way to attach this wire to the clamp, right? So I'm going to try to figure that out. Normally I would just wrap it around the legs, but we're not doing that. So let me pull this little tiny bit out. What I always do is I always start by grabbing a little bit at the end. Let's see if I can show you guys this. I grab a little bit at the end and just kind of pull it out from the rest of the alien. So this is a straight piece of wire, and my fingernail is grabbing the end, so that way it's not pulling out too much. See if I can show that to you guys. Yeah. So now at this point, let's see here. Come on. Wow. Okay, well, you get it. So, cool. Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of insert this in to the chuck, or to that clamp, and see if I can get it to catch. Perfect. Okay, so it caught. So what I'm doing is I'm just kind of wrapping all this spare wire around this glue up here. And then, all right, so now this is the moment of truth. And I'm going to zoom in on this so you guys can see what I'm doing. So give me just a second, and I will get a nice close-up of what's going on here. Oh, sorry, 1 second. I did that wrong. Yes, all right, that's perfect. Okay, so now I'm just going to go to manual focus as usual. All right. So now that you guys can see that and it's in focus, let me just double check. Okay, so that's a little bit better. Perfect. All right. So, no stretch, right? So the no stretch method is, in my opinion, I would say the most difficult way of doing this. However, once you master it, I think it's better. Now, this doesn't always work for 3-core aliens, right? I think the no stretch can collapse 3-core aliens very easily. So I just use the no stretch for Fraliens and anything like that. So one thing to consider here when we're doing this is that you want to be about 4 to 6 inches away from your wire when you're holding it. Normal aliens, I try to hold it more like 12 inches away, but if I'm doing no stretch, I like to be a little bit closer so my adjustments in my tension can, it doesn't take as long to reach the wire, essentially. So one thing that is key and critical with this part of the build is you must maintain perfectly consistent pressure with your fingers, right? Once it starts wrapping and starts rolling over, don't add any more pressure, right? That will cause everything to straighten out and it won't look like an alien anymore. So I'm just going to go ahead and start doing this. Which the way you start is you kind of grab just a little bit down from the top. You see how I've got, let's see here. I'm going to grab it starting right about here or so, right? Right about there. So that way I will be able to stretch out a little bit of the alien to start with. And then I'm just going to go ahead and start. Now, once I start this, guys, I can't stop. So once this goes out of the frame, it's just going to take me a little bit until I can get back to you guys. So, all right. There we go. Now it's catching.
Okay. That's where I stop. All right.
Sorry, guys. Whew. Okay. I want to show you guys a little bit of focus panning on this. You can see it's a nice tight wrap there. I'm going to go ahead and try my best to get a close-up of this wire. Alright, so that's about all I did there. Let me just take a quick look at this. Oh man, everything looks good to me. Some spacing issues here and there, but not too bad. So, okay, cool. Let me just detach this real quick. Where are we, screwdriver? Where'd you go? Oh, you're hiding right there. All right. All right, so let's see if I can show you guys this here. Kind of tough with 38 gauge. It's a little bit fine to even show on camera. I would need a pretty serious macro situation. Let's see how far I can go. Let's get to the maximum focusing distance, or minimum focusing distance. Let's see how close I can get. There we go. Fralien. That's it. Right there. Pretty much good all the way up until I got to about here or so, and then it just sort of fell apart on me. But yeah, that's what you should have, right? Perfect. All right. Does the inside of the clamp have teeth? No, it does not. It doesn't need it though, let me tell you what. Be honest. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and wrap this into a coil. And yeah, we'll go from there. All right, I'll go ahead and pop that. Pop this real quick. All right, so this needs a little bit of straightening, but it's not too bad. It's got probably about a half turn in the whole thing. Sometimes with these, you can just get it with your fingers. Other times, it needs a little bit more love. Yeah, this one's a little bit stiff. That's okay. We'll work that out when we're wrapping. So, now I just need to find my bit. Okay, there it is. This has been what I've been doing lately with wrapping coils, is I've been using the combo sort of pliers screwdriver thing. So essentially what I'm doing here, just to show you guys, let me look at see what side of this alien is cleaner. Yeah, I think I was using a little bit too much pressure in the beginning. Towards the end, it all started to kind of line up. Okay. Cool. All right, let me just get this all mounted. All right, so this is how I do it, right? So I've got the pliers holding, or the, yeah, I guess the pliers holding the wire, and then my, yeah, I've just got my bit pulled up right up next to it. So, I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping. Oh, shit. That was not what I wanted. All right, now we've got that going. Let me go ahead and index this lead. And give it a clip. Alright, let's click this lead here, and then we'll get wrap into the next one. Alright. Alright, we're going to do the same thing for this. Sorry, you guys. It's hard to keep this in camera and in focus because I'm just trying to kind of make sure that I wrap this cleanly. So I'm definitely going to use these. I just don't know in what. Alright, so we've got that now to... Alright, so there we go. That is the alien frame staple. And let me see if I can get you guys a close-up. One of these is definitely better than the other. That's funny. Alright. Alright, let's see. I'm going to get back to manual focus. Bring it out to the minimum focusing distance. There we go. Got a set of Fraliens right there. That's legit. Not bad. Yes, Michelle, the alien frame staple is the same as a Fralien. So, let's see here. Well, guys, that's about it. Let me see. Do you guys have any questions? Let's see here. What were you? I was seeing some stuff up here. Demo is the new Homeboy Josh. Oh boy. Well, I mean, I'll take that for sure, but I don't know, man. Homeboy Josh did a lot of stuff that I can't even do. Let's see here. Let's see here. Josh got lost in one of his nature hikes, I think. No, I think he had some life stuff come up. Wrapped my very first twisted coil that way, as I had nothing else to use. Man, that's the way I wrap coils. I think it gets the cleanest result. So let's see here. Instead of all Canthal frame staples, yes. I made Michelle in some Canthal frame staples. Pretty great. All right, guys. Do you have any questions? Anything you want to know? I'm here for you guys. So you know, ask me. Ask away. I just don't know what I'm going to do with these yet. Jared says yet. Yeah, well. We'll see, man. We'll see. I kind of hit I kind of hit this point here and stopped and was like, well, you know, like you can go crazy, right? You can go crazy with the art builds and stuff like that, but it's just not the same. So let's see here. I'm going to try to see if I can add a camera here. Oh, whoops. That was not what I wanted. That's cool, though. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Actually, that is really cool. So now I can talk to you guys. Check that out. If you guys can see that. Little picture-in-picture going on here. I should give them to Jared, Mark. You're right. I think I'm going to send these to Jared. That's definitely what I'm going to do. I'm going to send these to Jared. He can try them out and see what he thinks. So, anyway, now that I'm in this little picture-in-picture here, let's see if I can maybe adjust this here. Boop. Oh, well, I guess that's not really working out, is it? Well, okay, guys. All right, so here's the question here. What would you say is the minimum setup needed to start with Clapton wire? Well, I would say, do you mean setup as far as tools or as far as like what wires you need? Because as far as tools, you're going to need... I have a video where I go over... In fact, actually, if you go back on my channel, in Coil Building 101, there's a video that is everything that I recommend for builders to use. Let's just do that there real quick. I know this is weird now because that like that, and I can't quite figure out this this camera, why it won't... Anyway, whatever. So yeah, so if you're talking about tools, all right, yeah, dude, check out the Coil Building 101. I have a full video where I go over all the tools I use, stuff like that. I think even let me just look here on my channel and see if I have the links for everything. I think I put links for everything that I use in that video. Let's see here. Let's see here. Beginner series, tools, wires, wicks. Okay, cool. Yes. All right. Let me throw this link here into chat, and yeah. All right. That is the YouTube video where I go over tools and everything like that, and so you can actually go through there and look. Certain things are not necessary, right? Like you at least need a drill. You need swivels. You need some way to hold those swivels, right, to your table, whether it's a vise or something like that. And you need all of your standard coil building, tools, right? Nylon-tipped pliers are very useful. I use them a lot. That's a thing. But go check that video out, for sure. Let's see here. Here. How many pieces of ribbon did you use? I used 6 pieces of 0.3 by 0.1 nichrome in that. These coils ohm out to like 0.11 or so. Let's see here. I sometimes use 8 or 10 depending on the build that I'm using. I typically go in 2s though, for no real reason, I guess. I can only do plain Claptons. Is there a real benefit to Alien? Yes. So aliens, the benefit to aliens is, one, I do believe that they wick a lot better because there's a little bit more space in the whole thing. It allows the juice just to penetrate into the coil completely and do all that kind of stuff. So yeah, no, there is a benefit to aliens. It's also much easier to clean than fused Claptons because when you have those wraps that are just right up next to each other, gunk gets down into the in-between sections, and it's just difficult to get out. When they're wavy, there's a little bit of space sometimes in between the wraps and stuff, and it's much easier to get a brush or your ultrasonic and get that in there. So, Monty Marino, what's up, man? Long time no see. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that, Tremaine. I think I am going to be doing this sort of picture-in-picture like kind of thing. And what I might try to do is I might try to set up a picture-in-picture instead of seeing me in the build. I might try to set up a picture-in-picture of the whole build and then like a close-up, right? So that way you guys can see both at the same time. I didn't even realize you could do this, and I'm still so new to OBS. So, how many shakes of red pepper flakes does it take some interlocking for? It takes quite a few shakes of the red pepper flake, if you know what I mean. All right, let's see here. Drip that crushed red pepper. Yeah, yeah, dude. My crushed red pepper, man. It's my favorite favorite thing. Favorite thing to put on pizza. That and Secret Aardvark hot sauce. Demo, what ribbon do you use on Reuben? I don't use any ribbon on Reuben, man. No ribbon on Reuben. for any of you guys that don't know, Ruben is my dog. So he's just the best though. So all right, cool guys. Well, let's see here. Michelle Lynn, I ate Mexican food last night, and now I think I have Montezuma's Revenge. What kind of coils would help with that? Oh, I don't know. I can tell you, I've never dealt with that before. Okay, John Rentz says, what is the best flavor build or way to get flavor in the TM24 Pro? It has M-Turk Aliens at 0.12 in it. So if you're having trouble getting flavor from the Twisted Messes TM24 Pro, play around with coil placement, right? I like to put my coils so you can see the bottom half of the coil. If you're looking through the airflow, like if I'm looking through the airflow, I can just see the bottom half right in the middle, right? So it's like the bottom of the coil and then goes up right in the middle. I build pretty close to the posts in the TM24 Pro and I get good flavor. But just try it, play around. Those M-Turk Aliens should give you good flavor in that. I believe that very, very, very strongly. So, let's see here. How many spools have unraveled on you? Oh, dude, way too many. The worst one, I think, though, was a spool of... It was a 100-foot spool of 20 gauge. And literally, I was just sitting here, and all of a sudden I heard... And I look over, and the spool is just... completely unraveled, and I had to take the whole thing apart and re-spool it, and now it looks all crazy, so... just kind of ruined some 20 gauge for me. Still enjoying your reload? Awesome, dude. Awesome. Let's see. What is your preferred wire metal and why? It would definitely be Nichrome 80. Nichrome 80 is my preferred. I think it gives a nice fast ramp-up time. I like the flavor. I think the flavor is the best between stainless Kanthal and Nichrome. That's just my opinion, right? Everyone has their own favorite, but I like Nichrome 80 because it allows me to build the types of coils I like at the resistance I like. Stainless oftentimes ohms a little too low. Kanthal ohms too high for me. Nichrome is kind of perfect, right? Everyone's telling me to try N90. Jury's still out, I think, on safety. I have not heard a convincing argument yet that would lead me to believe that there has been enough data on N90 to consider it safe. So, you get more nickel in it. At what point is the nickel... What point is the nickel no longer protected by the chromium, right? At what point do those oxides start forming and it becomes harmful, right? I'm not saying that is what's happening, but I don't know, right? So I don't use it myself. All right, let's see here. I don't use tamers. No, I don't use tamers. I don't find them very useful for me, but that's just me. Imodium coils, Michelle. How do I get flavor on the Njord? Well, you're going to have to ask a different man. You might have to ask Morton. What do I think of the new Warrior RDA? You know what? I have kept myself as far away from all of the Warrior marketing because I want to get it and just have no conceptual idea of it. I want to just get it and just use it, right? Because it's been hyped up for a while, and I find myself, if I get too caught up in the hype train, man, it affects my ability to be objective. Well, good. I'm glad, Monty. I'm glad that you're enjoying it, and it's all good. What do you think about pre-made wire spools? Sure. I mean, at the end of the day, I completely understand that there are tons of people out there that either A, cannot afford these kind of coils, because they're expensive. We charge a decent amount for them because it takes time, and you see that, right? It takes time and effort to put together something like that. So you're not going to get it as cheap as you're going to get pre-made coils or pre-made spooled wire. And I used pre-made spooled wire when I first started. It's fine, just get from a place that you trust, right? Like I found Advanced Vapes Supply has really good pre-made spooled wire. It's 316L stainless. Advanced Vape Supply is really nice. I haven't tried any of the big box Chinese pre-made wire anytime lately. I haven't done any of that because I build my own coils, so I don't get around to trying it. Let's try this Basium. Yeah, I would be interested. I would be interested, man. Nobody's sending it to me, and I'm not so sure if I'm gonna buy it yet. But cool, guys. Well, I think that's about it. So if you have any further questions, just toss them in there right now. I'll answer maybe a couple more before I get out of here. But I'm just gonna go ahead and do my little sign out. So I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this interesting, feel free to like and comment after the fact. Share it around if you like. And I'm just trying to do stuff that helps you guys out. Something a little bit interesting and stuff. So, yeah, dude. Check me out on Instagram, as Frank just posted in chat my Instagram link, Demo_Vapes. Check me out there. I'm on YouTube. I haven't been overly prolific in my content lately, but life is throwing me some curveballs right now. So it's been tough to get on YouTube and get some content out. So cool, guys. Well, thank you all so much for watching, and let me get my vape here real quick, so that way I can do this. I don't even know what I was gonna say. I have no idea. So anyway, peace out, guys. Peace out.